Hi guys, welcome back to Waxing On. It's Wednesday, that means classic rock. And today we're going to look at a couple of albums I have from the mid-1970s, featuring a musician that started out in a duo band. At that time there was quite a few of them going around. We had Seals and Croft, we had Brewer and Shipley, and we had Loggins and Messina. So today we're taking a look at the music of Kenny Loggins. And the album I had first, 1976, Kenny Loggins, Jim Messina, called Sittin' In. Very indicative of their style at this point. Folksy, a little bit of country style, some rock edges. This album, probably the song most people might recognize would be one called Danny's Song, which would be considered the hit off this album. Mainly Jim Messina doing a lot of the writing, Kenny Loggins doing some. Usually in conjunction with other people, but the two of them are writing all their own material. And again, to me, one of the favorites of the bunch, except for Brewer and Shipley. I mean, who didn't love One Toke Over the Line? But listening to the albums as a whole, albums themselves stood up better with the Loggins and Messina from where I was sitting. Now, shortly after that album came out, Kenny Loggins broke out on his own and started doing his own music. Now, he got away from the folky sound and got into what they call soft rock. It's not the hard edge rock, it's a little more laid back and mellow. One thing I noticed on the first album, one of the tunes written in conjunction with David Foster. Now, if you're familiar with what David Foster did to Chicago when he started getting involved with the band, that's very similar to what we're seeing happen here with Kenny Loggins. The style has changed. It's, again, soft rock is a pretty apt title. This is the first album, Celebrate Me Home, produced by Phil Ramone and Bob James. Now, there's a name we've heard before. I mean, we've talked about Bob James. I featured him an episode quite a while ago as, you know, a solo artist. He put out some great albums under the CTI label. He was a great piano player, great arranger. Did I care for him as a producer? No, not so much. I keep coming back to Primal Scream, the first album he produced for Maynard Ferguson after Chameleon, and he had gone to such extremes to change the band, it wasn't even the same group. Now, I understood Columbia hired him to do a job as a producer, and he was probably doing what they wanted. I didn't figure he always, or didn't feel he always served the artist. Anyways, Bob James is on here, and this is one of the albums, too, that also had a contribution by David Foster. So you get an idea of what kind of music we're looking at on it. Give you some idea of some of the songs in case you might recognize them. Celebrate Me Home, Lady Luck, I Believe in Love, Why Do People Lie, Daddy's Back, Set a Fire, If You Be Wise, Enter My Dream, I've Got the Melody, and You Don't Know Me. Again, produced by Phil Spector and Bob James. Now, oh, sorry, not Phil Spector, Phil Ramone. My mistake. The next album, and this one, again, this is one of my wife's albums, and she was a big Kenny Loggins fan, so that's where I've come to start listening to these from. The other one was Night Watch. And this one was solely produced by Bob James. Again, a few songs in here you might recognize. Probably the big hit off here is with one Stevie Nicks called Whenever I Call You Friend. We've actually got an idea of the band in here. We've got horns, bass guitar, another guy on horns, drums, and keyboard. So we've got two horn players, and a regular backup band. Now, Bob James does a lot of fills in there as well. When I look at it here, we've got the string arrangements are all by Bob James, and harmony vocals on Whenever I Call You Friend by Stevie Nicks, I mentioned, although he wrote it with Melissa Manchester. And a lot of the songs written by Kenny Loggins or Kenny Loggins and someone else, co-writing credit. So a lot of what he was doing at this time, again, we're still in that soft rock category. And it's a pretty solid album. Again, both of these two are available on the streaming networks, which I now have a new record player. Not till Christmas. But anyways, I'll be getting more vinyl out. I have to listen to some of these on the streaming networks just to get a chance to, revisit them before we do the show. And Kenny kind of stayed in that soft rock category. Now, he did have a couple of real big hits tied in with movies. He did a song for Top Gun, the Tom Cruise movie. He did Footloose, which was a really great tune. And one of my favorites, I'm All Right from Caddyshack. So he had some real nice tunes that were successful that were tied in with movies he had done. He also did a song for Caddyshack too, so he was getting called for those as well as his soft rock performances. So in the albums I found in my collection, and again these two are from my wife, Night Watch, Kenny Loggins, Celebrate Me Home. Boy, that's a young picture there, isn't it? And back in the early days, with him and Jim Messina sitting in. Now again, all these albums available on the streaming networks. They're available in hard copies. It's certainly nice to go back and revisit what was going on in the 70s and to be able to see the transition of this artist from his early work into his more, rock-oriented work into the movies. So anyways, today it was Kenny Loggins. If you get a chance, check them out. That's it for Wednesday. Halfway through the week. We'll see you on Friday when we look at a couple of soundtrack albums that I think you might enjoy. Till then, everybody take care. Thanks for stopping by.